ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صدق الله العظيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you, Brother Shamshuri. Just to note that Brother Shamshuri won the International Competition of Quran Recitation in Istanbul, Turkey in the year 2019. So thank you for joining us this evening. I'm going to give the translation for the verses he recited, or the verse he recited from Surah Al-Baqarah, which is verse 185 in the chapter Al-Baqarah, which is translated as the cow. Ramadan is the month in which the Quran was revealed as a guide for humanity with clear proofs of guidance and the standard to distinguish between right and wrong. So whoever is present in this month, let them fast. But whoever is ill or on a journey, then let them fast an equal number of days after Ramadan is over. God intends ease for you, not hardship, so that you may complete the prescribed period and proclaim the greatness of God for guiding you, and perhaps you will achieve and attain gratefulness. Next, I would like to invite the Secretary General of USCMO, the organization that convened us this evening, Brother Usama Jamal.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Dear guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you. It is our extreme pleasure and delight to have you all with us tonight at the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations' third annual Ramadan Iftar. The Ramadan Iftar that we have decided to have was in response, thankfully, because that gave us an initiative to take, in response to Donald Trump canceling Ramadan Iftar for Muslims at the White House. So we responded to have Ramadan Iftar in Washington, D.C. with those who do recognize and those who do appreciate Muslim American contribution in the United States of America. So your presence today means a lot to us. Certainly it's the response, and certainly it is an initiative to underline the presence, the contribution of American Muslims in the United States of America. The U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, just to give you a quick overview, we are an umbrella organization of many organizations. The chairman will talk and will explain who we are. If there's anything that defines us, is our unity to amplify the voice of the American Muslims and to work together in a collaborative manner, because we understand that together we are stronger. Ramadan is a very special month for us, and to break fast with our friends means a lot to us. So your presence with us tonight means a lot. Our program is going to be short because this is fasting, and I know that people need to break their fast. And that's why we gave our third-time MC, Sister Nadia Hassan, to MC the program. So she is familiar with it. And that's why we gave her this challenge that only a few minutes before the program we say you are the MC as always. So Sister Nadia does a great job, and she will keep us in time because 7:37 is the time we will break our fast. And once we break our fast, of course, we have to pray. There is a room for us to pray as we walk outside. To your right, and then another right, south of D. We will be praying. Those who are not praying, then they can stay here. You can start with their food, and they will be serving at that time. With that, thank you very much for being with us here. I would like to recognize many of our guests here, especially Ambassador Murad Borjan, the Ambassador of Turkey in the United States of America, and his wife, also Ms. Kinji Borjan. I also would like to recognize Congresswoman Mary Newman, 3rd District, Illinois. Congresswoman Mary Newman will be introduced later, and we will be hearing from her. She is from my district. I am very proud to have her here today, and thank you, Congresswoman, for being with us. We have extended invitation to many, but we do understand that there were voting going on, and many of them, they were tied up, they did not make it, but she did, and that's why we vote for her, and we want her to be honest. With that, I turn it over to the next speaker. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Jazakallah khair, alhamdulillah. I just want to ask the guests that are coming in, there's many open seats in the back. If you could just find a seat, there's no specific assigned seat, just find a seat anywhere. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Ayman Hammouz, who is the chairman of the USCMO. So, Mr. Ayman, please.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, all praise is in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a messenger of Allah. With your respected sisters and brothers, I thank you all for being here. Congresswoman, Ambassador, fellows from the Governor's Office, we are so honored to have all of you with us tonight. I just landed 1 hour ago, and I'm tired, and Osama asked me to give 5 minutes thought to all of you, and Osama Bashir is waiting with the energy that I'm going to bring.
Give me 3 minutes.
I cannot promise you of the energy part, but allow me to share some quick reflections with all of you, since it's Ramadan. In the last 20 days, I flew almost 10 days out of the last 20 days. And for those of you who are leading organizations, public speakers, running institutions, masajids, and whatnot, it becomes overwhelming. And sometimes we try to help everyone around us, and we actually might lose ourselves in the process. And since it is Ramadan, it is important to remind ourselves that we need to invest in ourselves first. We need to take Ramadan as an opportunity of emotional growth, spiritual growth, intellectual growth. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless every and each one of you to take a full advantage of Ramadan this year. I have been around enough in mass as an executive director and in the USCMO, even before the inception of the USCMO. And I can tell you, when we first had these discussions, there were so many doubts within our community. Is it really going to happen or not? Some of the people who participated in early discussion, they pulled out. They didn't believe in USCMO. And today, with the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this entity was able to grow to include Muslim organizations from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different parts of the countries, representing over 40, almost 50 organizations with their chapters and masajids under these organizations, almost 750 chapters, mosques, and different institutions across the country. This is the blessing of Allah, and this is your effort. Without every and each one of you would have not been here today. And as a community of faith, we do have so many challenges. Internal challenges within our own community. As a faith community, raising a new generation of American Muslims that is faced with so many different cultures, culture of atheism, materialism from one end, and the value of our faith from the other end. There is a level of complexity within our community. People organize and mobilize for the cause of justice everywhere. In Kashmir, in Syria, in Burma, in Palestine, in so many places. People at the same time in our community, as they face Islamophobia and their identity being questioned as American Muslims, they still organize for the very issues of our country. I come from New York City when there is 69,000 people are homeless, over 22,000 families, over 16,000 children in New York City. We still care about those and organize for those, for better education in our backyard. We care about those issues. Our community is very unique and very challenged in so many ways. And we always ask ourselves, are we there? And I can't tell you the answer, not yet. We're not there. But alhamdulillah, we see the signs that we are moving in the right direction. I drive a lot. I'm actually driving to New York City tomorrow. And I drive across the country. And when you drive, you see a sign that tells you you're heading to Baltimore, you're heading to the next town. These signs tells you that yes, you are in the right direction. And our American Muslim community is on the right direction. We have a brother I always use, I don't know. We have a brother Amish who ran for office a few years ago. She's representing our community here in Northern Virginia. We have Muslims at the most difficult time, more Muslim than ever, ran for office and won elections at the time, the era of Donald Trump. And alhamdulillah, Muslims are serving everywhere, at every platform, to see America as a better country, to serve the cause of justice here and everywhere across the world. Once again, thank you for being here. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Thank you so much, Brother Iman, for everything that you do to serve our community. And thank you for mentioning Abrar. Actually, I was going to mention her because, and thank you for mentioning about Islamophobia, because a lot of times we forget that the sisters are really the ones in the front line who are targeted because we are most visible. And I know that my sister Abrar can totally relate, and I've been there as well. So I want you to also remember in this month that, excuse me, to make dua for the sisters, for our Muslim sisters who are clearly visible, who have been targeted by people who don't really understand the faith. And that's why I'm so truly grateful to USCMO for bringing us together and being able to share Ramadan with our allies and our friends who are not part of the Muslim faith, because they understand more about what it is that we stand for, which brings me so much joy and pleasure to introduce the next speaker, a dear sister of mine who's been a trailblazer and an avid supporter of Muslim women not only in our community, but across the country. She, tries to put structure, set up networks to support Muslim women in our community, whether here locally or across the country. So I'd like to introduce my dear sister and friend, Dahlia Mujahid, who's the Director of Research of the Institute of Social Policy and Understanding.
Peace be upon you, and thank you all for joining us today. I can't believe we're all in the same room again. It's been more than 2 years. And I think that the past 2 years have really taught us the importance and the value of community. This Ramadan is the first one in a while where we're able to congregate, we're able to go to the masjid, we're able to come together in a room like this and talk to each other face to face. And I think that this experience, having lost that for as long as we did, should help us reflect on the benefits and the value of collaboration and cooperation. And that's what we're all here to celebrate, right? Is an organization that is built to facilitate cooperation. So I want to share with you some thoughts on why it is so important for us to have an organization like this that helps us work together instead of all working separately. The first reason is probably the most obvious. It's the only way we will build any kind of influence or power in the halls of power. If we aren't working together, if we're all working separately, and this is as someone who's sometimes involved in some of these meetings, when you're working separately, you have a lot less clout, you have a lot less to say in that room when people are making decisions about a community. And as important as that one reason is, I actually don't think it's not the most prominent that we should think about. I think the most important reason that we should cooperate across Muslim organizations is because only through cooperation will we be able to serve our community and God best. And there are several reasons for that. The first is cooperation requires self-awareness about what I do best and what I don't do best. And if I have that self-awareness, then I can bring in partners that can help get the job done and serve those people that I'm serving better than if I were to do it alone. So we serve better when we work together, when we specialize, when we do what we do best and leave what we don't do best to someone else who is going to do it best. When we're not cooperating, we're going to be trying to do everything ourselves. That burns us out, that creates a situation where our performance is mediocre at best, and the biggest losers are those we serve. So we serve those we are trying to uplift better when we're working together. But the second reason, or perhaps the third, is that we are called to do this. We are called to work together by our faith. The Quran teaches us that only by working together will our boats catch wind. It's such a beautiful analogy. That we can all be trying really hard, but that barakah of the wind catching your sail and taking you further than you would go by yourself only comes in when we put our hands together. And so it brings us to the question, what does unity mean? Does unity mean conformity? No. There's a difference between a community and a cult. Unity doesn't mean that we all agree. Unity means that we can disagree not only with respect, but with compassion. Disagreeing with compassion is my definition of unity. That I can truly care for you even though we disagree. Unity also means that we have a process by which we resolve these disagreements and take them to action that is just and transparent. So we can't just disagree and stop there. We have to find ways to properly move beyond disagreement to shared action. Even if I disagree, I still go along with what we've all come to in the end through that process. So it's this idea of good governance and transparency. And finally, the third and maybe most important principle of unity is that we have to see our competition as not other Muslim organizations working for the greater good, but our competition is the Islamophobia industry. Our competition is poverty. Our competition is injustice. That's what we're working against, not each other. So I will leave you with these thoughts. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair, Dalia, for all the great work that you do for our community. So we are less than 10 minutes away from the call to prayer, the adhan time for Maghrib. And so we are going to, I'm going to ask Brother Usama Abu Rashid from American Muslims for Palestine to introduce our awardee for this evening.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak and good evening everyone. To our non-Muslims brothers and sisters here, I just want you to know that for us as Muslims, the month of Ramadan is a month of energy and action. However, that doesn't mean that we don't suffer some deficiencies or growing pain during the month of Ramadan. Mainly, if you ask any Muslim sitting next to you, what are you suffering from, other than looking at the food now or waiting for the food, they will tell you now, I'm suffering from the lack of caffeine and the lack of sleep. So it's not that I'm trying to justify my underperformance in presenting and in introducing our great friend, Congresswoman Newman. So basically, I will go into what I have about Congresswoman Newman. Someone who I truly admire, someone who I'm so glad that I got to know through Shadin. Thank you, Shadin, for helping our Congresswoman to be here with us and to stand with us as we are standing with her. Congresswoman Newman represents Illinois' 3rd Congressional District, which covers the southwest side of Chicago as well as its surrounding suburbs. She is up for re-election in the 6th District, a lifelong advocate for growing small businesses, protecting healthcare rights, strengthening our infrastructure, and building a greener economy. Congresswoman Newman is the first woman in history to represent Illinois' 3rd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. She is a proud leader in the pro-justice and pro-peace movement. She was the first to speak up against the disparities in COVID-19 vaccinations for Palestinian people. She has co-sponsored Betty McCollum's bill, H.R. 2590, and spearheaded one of the most powerful letters to the State Department to denounce Israel's thefts of homes in Sheikh Jarrah and demolitions of Palestinian homes. Congresswoman Newman stands in solidarity with all marginalized communities, including the Syrian community, definitely the Palestinian community. And I'm going to say one more personal thing. I am very proud to present the Congresswoman who did not shy away from asking to be endorsed by a Palestinian organization, a Palestinian American organization that fights for the Palestinian right. I'm honored to be the executive director of the American Muslims for Palestine and its sister organization, the Americans for Justice in Palestine Action, a C4 organization that can lobby without any restrictions for Palestinian rights. Congresswoman Newman asked to be endorsed by this organization. This is a new era. and people like Congresswoman Newman is ushering this new era for us here in America. So I have the distinct pleasure of asking Congresswoman Newman to please come to the stage and please address us. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. What a lovely sight to see everyone here, and I'm sure that this is so great for all of you to finally be together after years apart. So thank you. I feel very special that I'm here this evening and being that it's a special night. So I would just start by telling you a little secret. I love my job. I love my job because I get to do very small things very frequently. And I get to do some big things once in a while with great people. So I have an amazing staff. One of them's here tonight, Chet Molly, my Chief of District Affairs. And I have just an amazing staff in DC in the district. But I also have these amazing folks called my partners. So I call my constituents my partners because they help me learn things and they help me be a better representative and they help me be a better person. So I'm very lucky in that on the southwest side of Chicago, the southwest suburbs, it is home to the largest concentration of Arab and Muslim Americans. It is an honor to have that lovely community in my community. I'll tell you why, because the wonderful work that USCMO, I have to think about for that first, they do great work, but so do all the organizations in my district. All of the grassroots groups that do amazing work and got us through COVID. Because as I always say, when I talk to any community, whether it's the Latino community, the Asian community, South Asian, Muslim, Arab American community, is that we are all one community. We are one community. We are all humans and we're in this race together, right? Together. And so when I get to do small things like write the letter that Osama just talked about, or I get to call out when the State Department isn't being attentive to Ruban in Syria, or when I call out the fact that vaccines are not being distributed, or call out on the House floor when homes are being stolen. As I've said many times, it's not okay to steal homes in Chicago. It's not okay to steal homes in Paris. It's not okay in Montreal. It's not okay in Beijing. And it's not okay in Palestine. What I often say about all of these challenges that we have in the urban Muslim American community is that this is all just common sense, right? We should love one another, we're here to serve each other, and it's just real simple for me. But it's not so simple for Congress, I gotta tell you. It is a claw every day, it is a claw up the hill that is just really challenging. Now the good news is the number of partners that think that some of this stuff is super illogical is growing. There's like 10 of us in Congress now that stick together, we're thick as thieves, as they say. And we vote against things like the Iron Dome. And I didn't vote against the Iron Dome because I hate Israel. I voted against the Iron Dome because we had already paid our commitment to Israel on that note. And while it does protect a lot of people, we shouldn't be giving another $1 billion to any country. And that's the point I make all the time, is that why do we always have to put Israel first? When maybe France, maybe Korea, maybe Yemen, maybe Syria needs us, maybe Palestine needs us, right? So let's go where it's needed. And that's really my job, to call that out. But I will tell you, I just want to be clear on how much I appreciate this organization and Osama Jamal, and right in my district, I'm so lucky to have the Secretary General right at my beck and call. No, I'm just kidding, he's not at my beck and call. But he has been so helpful and a great partner. But I want to give all of you some hope. Our groups inside Congress are growing. There's more recognition every day of the critical issues around the urban Muslim American community. And I just want you to know, you have my commitment. My office is always open to you, and I'm always ready to help in any way that I can. Sometimes I can be helpful, sometimes I can't, but I'm always there for you, and I just want you to know that. So with that, shukran. And have a wonderful evening, and please break fast welcome.
Thank you so much, Congressman. I'm going to ask, so it is, Ifter has set in, it is smaller. We're going to quickly have Brother Usama give the award, and then we're going to have the call to prayer.
I need my assistant to make me the award. Ayub? Where is Ayub? Where's that, the award?
Allah hocam ziyarete mi gidiyoruz? Yok izlemeyen dörtte bir kere uyuyoruz yani. Ziyaret uyuyoruz. Gel hocam.
Ayub. Sabır Ayub. Yeah. Actually, the award is right here. I was just looking up where it is. Wow, okay. This award is given to Congresswoman Mary Newman, and we call it the United States Council of Muslim Organizations Presents the Courage Award to Congresswoman Mary Newman, Illinois 3rd District, April 6, 2022, because she has a lot of courage, a lot of guts to stand and speak the truth at a time when it was very difficult for anyone to say anything. Congresswoman, you do deserve the Courage Award.
Thank you so much. But I would say that I want to thank you, that you all deserve an award for all of the great work that you do, but I am very touched by this, and thank you so much, Usama. This is lovely. Thank you.
Benim olsun. Buradakiler 15 ya.
Allahu Akbar, أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Jazakallah khair. We began the program with the word of Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. We will end our program with the same word, Alhamdulillah, praise be to God. I just want to share Islamic tradition with you. It's a hadith where God says that there are two moments in life where you will say Alhamdulillah, and that's the time